Welcome to the MaddLogic Watermark utility. I thought I'd take a few minutes to walk everyone through the features and point out some of the more subtle things that are probably not obvious. So just kind of walking through, if you're not familiar with Watermark, we put together a small spreadsheet presentation to just introduce what the concept is and kind of what you can do with it. Going back from the top, we have the option, you can either choose to watermark with a logo or put just arbitrary text onto your image. And underneath the surface, all this is it smashes either two images together with a watermark being on top or text on top of your existing image. So the first step is you're going to want to select the source. So this one's going to be probably bigger, used for social media or something on Facebook, Twitter, and it is, we're kind of denoting the term source here. So the next step is either choosing whether you want it to be an image watermark or text. So image watermark, let you go in, and I'm going to use my logo for this example. So I'm selecting the logo, and you can put this in different locations. So I'll choose center for the example, but you have a bunch of flexibility. And if you want it repeated, it'll repeat the logo across the center line. Margin, just let you to allow to add space around the outside of your image. Opacity has to do with how transparent it is. If your image already has is transparent, then you don't have to change the setting because it'll load it in from the image. But if you want to make it see-through so that it's more subtle, you can change the settings. The logo I'm putting in is 100% not opaque, so I'm just going to add it in about 20. And then scale has to do with the size. So let's say you put a logo in that's bigger than your source image, then you can actually go through and scale this down. And if it's really tiny, then you can also blow it up. So I'll put it about 35%. So this next part I'm going to put in. So we do collect some information, but once you put it in, then it will be saved forever. The browser will try to remember who you are, but if you change browser or refresh your settings or something, you'll have to come in here and repopulate the information. But after that point, then you'll just be able to come back. So I'm going to go ahead and submit. And if you're interested in being a sponsor, I'll create a different video describing what that is. So here you'll see in the center, this is the watermark. And then the image behind, I'm kind of building it for Facebook. So now as you go through, you can kind of tweak. So I'll increase opacity, make it a little bit bigger. And after each change, you have to hit submit in order for it to reflect on here. And then at that point, so we're actually looking into making this a paid service so that you can do bulk imports of images, and integration with like Google Drive or Dropbox. So now, once it's in here, this is the preview. So you can either right click and save image as, or the same thing, or you can just click the button and it'll come to your downloads. It uses the same file name as what you selected here, but it's going to be saved in your downloads folder. The next watermark type is text. So I'm going to use the same image, but here you're able to put, so let's say you wanted to put your social media tag, I just put MaddLogic LLC. And then again, you can put the location. For the color picker, you have a lot of flexibility here. So I'm just going to make it blue because it'll stand out. The color picker does recognize some keywords. So if you use kind of like red, blue, orange, it's going to be able to recognize it. But if it doesn't, you'll just have to come in here and click in here and choose your own. So you can change font size. Again, you can add margin and then also have flexibility over opacity. So So you see here, it's kind of faded because I put opacity, the color just doesn't stand out. So I will choose a little bit more standout color and then resubmit, and then there it is. So now after you've entered this in, and let's say you come back to the page, you can refresh it. Is going to be my simulation. It restores all of your watermark settings from your previous one. So if you know you're going to use a logo that's centered all the time, then really you only have to come in here and then change your source image. So I'm going to reuse just the one. So you can just submit and then hopefully quickly come in and do multiple images. But while it's still a manual process, if you're interested in doing something like I mentioned before with integration with a web-based drive, or just being able to submit something from your PC, we're looking at expanding the functionality, but that would be a paid feature. Anyway, hope this helps, and thanks again for listening.